So, I want to talk about how do you actually communicate with senior team members. I am going to give you a brief introduction in terms of who I am, and then after that, talk to you about communicating with the team members, senior team members. It's a little different in terms of what I'm doing. So, if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of innovation, strategy, and entrepreneurship, and I'm doing something really, really, really weird. I am trying to create and change science, fundamentally change it. So I'm trying to create a platform. It's called the Reciprocity Platform. The E is written with a 3. And the idea behind it is to change the norms behind science, but also to create a platform such that it democratizes science, takes it out of expert hands, and uses available tools to be able to make our life easier. So basically make it. So my eventual goal is to allow somebody that's maybe in 5th grade to be able to participate in a scientific conversation. I know that's crazy. That's where I'm going to start the conversation. I know it is friggin' nuts. Everything about it is entirely crazy to suggest this. I am not above suggesting that that is the most bizarre thing that I have ever heard, and I am doing it. It's very presumptuous, all of that kind of stuff. It's extremely brave, courageous, I don't know, or stupid. So I'm sitting in my hotel room right now, and I've had interactions throughout the day. I'm at a major international conference, and I tell senior folks that I'm doing this. And some people are interested. A lot of people give me like, yeah, right, buddy. Like, you're nuts. Generally, the senior folks are doing that. So there's a really weird thing that's going on right now. I've been on the internet a long time, and a lot of people are starting to recognize me, and it's an interesting conversation, right? So those people get it. They understand what I'm doing, but there is a lot of skeptical people out there that are much more senior that are not participating in the internet. Maybe they have seen me, probably not, right? Like, I'm kind of a nobody, really. I'm really nobody, right? I'm just a dude. So what do I do in this circumstance? How do I communicate with them? Right, so first of all, I can't change their mind. They're gonna be skeptical of me, and that's great. That is fundamentally an awesome thing that they're skeptical of me. But I am learning to say I'm the shit no matter what. I'm okay with who I am. And even if you don't believe me, even if you don't think that I am going to be able to accomplish this, that's okay. Because I am comfortable with who I am as an individual, and I'm going to be honest about that. So I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the hell that I am doing, and I am just bumbling along with this. I'm going to be really honest with that. And yes, that comes across as I don't know what I'm doing. But damn it, I've done a lot of stuff. You look at the Reciprocity Platform. There is a lot that has been done, and the thing is actually working. There's all sorts of functionality, whatever, right? But this is where I want you to situate yourself with communicating with senior team level managers. If they are not at, and this is why I wanted to sort of preference this, if they're not able to communicate with you and give you encouragement and say, hey, what you're doing is incredible, how can I help out? Maybe find somebody else that you don't have to communicate and convince. And, the moment that you have to convince, the moment that you are on that sort of weird power angle, where you're the person that you are sort of, yeah, but, like you're that person that's sitting there trying to convince other people, you've lost the battle. Just walk away. It doesn't matter, right? Like, those people you're not going to convince anyways. They're not part of your conversation. So if you can get to the situation and get to the moment where you find your band, where you don't have to convince anybody, you could be you, and you can tell your story. I know that's really hard to find. I know that That's a weird moment, right? Like not everybody is able to find that, but that's okay, right? What I'm suggesting is for you to continue on with who you are as a person and stumble into it. And eventually you will actually stumble into it. Now, what can you do to find people that believe in you and that, are sort of encouraging and all of that kind of stuff? So that's hard to do, right? And it's a long run play in the sense it might take you 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But find that group where you're doing the things that you are wanting to do and that you are comfortable with who you are as a person. And yeah, you might have weird pie in the sky ideas. Man, I tell this, there's a lot of skeptical people. Friends, family, all those folks, very skeptical. But you can't deny, when you look at this, when you look at the evidence, you can't deny that something's happening, right? And you can't deny that there is something cool happening, right? So how do I deal with this? First of all, very insecure about myself, and I am learning to train myself to realize that I'm okay with who I am. And that takes a lot of repetition, a lot of standing up, telling who I am, and just letting the chips fall where they may. And if it is the case that somebody pays attention to it and they're excited about it, that's amazing. But if it's also the case that you just get that kind of like, whatever, move on. You don't have to convince anybody with who you are as a person and what you're actually doing. Frankly, it just means that they're not in the same wavelength as you. They're just kind of in a different space. Move on, right? Like, I know with this platform, I started off with this conversation at the beginning that I am trying to basically uproot experts, right? That's removing power from them. That, of course, they're going to be skeptical and think that this is a bunch of horse baloney or what. That this is a bunch of baloney. I get it, but I'm going to stumble around until I eventually find a group of people. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're paying attention that this resonates with. And I think you could do the same thing. I want you to think about not necessarily that you're going to fit in at this moment with where you are. It might be changing organizations, might be all sorts of things, but finding that group of people where you could be you and just be open with who you are. There are people out there that are like that will be supportive. Maybe they're few and far between, but there are people out there. They'll just be supportive for you and give you a little bit of a rah-rah pep talk out there. I've stumbled across them, few and far between, but they do exist. And I just want you to sort of realize this. It's a long run play. Keep being you, wherever that is. If you're weird, beautifully weird in whatever way you like to have rainbow hair, I don't know, whatever, be that. Like, you're gonna find that community that you resonate with. And if you change who you are, right? If you are completely different, I am me, right? Like I'm just some dude on the internet. If you change yourself to meet those other people, if you adapt to them, you are forever gonna play that game. And it's not a nice feeling where you're always somebody else instead of you being you. And I really want you to focus on how can I be you, and then let the rest of the world, the environment, come and find you and shape around you. I think that's a much better way to look at the world than looking at how you can strategically play and all of that nonsense. I mean, screw that. I am so done with that. That does not work anyways. Nobody knows like that you are who you are because you're playing the same game that everybody else is doing. Be you. You're pretty freaking awesome anyways, and you might as well just be you with who you are and find those people that are gonna resonate with who you are. All right, take care. Have a wonderful day.